What does King of the Hill have in common with the wonderfully weird world of Gumball? What is the best way to defeat a K-pop demon? And why is Bluey so wholesome? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. I'm your host. It's time for some fan theories. In 5 minutes or less, we are going to cover a lot of ground today. So, let's get into it. A Hank Hill theory. Do you ever feel like you're living in a simulation? Maybe the world around you isn't real. Maybe you're just a figment of someone else's imagination. That's certainly the case for the residents of Arlen, Texas. They all live inside a computer simulation created by Bobby Hill. In the King of the Hill episode, Bobby Goes Down, Bobby creates a virtual reality world called Bobby World. The residents of Bobby World are basically just copies of the real people, except they can do whatever Bobby wants. In one scene, Bobby changes Peggy's hair to make her look like a hippie. And in another scene, he turns Dale into an orgy monster. This episode aired in 2005, 17 years before the release of the film Ready Player One. And many fans believe that this is the first of its kind. A theory goes like this. The events of King of the Hill take place in the year 2045. Bobby created Bobby World as a virtual reality game that he could play with his friends. The game became so popular that everyone in Arlen got hooked. They spent all of their free time in Bobby World. And eventually, they were no longer able to tell the difference between the virtual world and the real world. So they just started living in Bobby World full time. Everyone except Hank Hill, who was immune to the virtual world. Because he was too busy mowing his lawn, this would explain why Hank seems so out of touch with the other characters. He's literally living in a different dimension. The show would end with Hank being the last man standing, the last person who remembers what life was like before the simulation. If this theory is true, then Hank has the power to end the simulation and free everyone from Bobby World. But will he? Don Da Don. There's a show on Cartoon Network called Don Da Don, which is about a cynical old detective who solves mysteries with the help of his younger partner. What if Dan was actually a prequel to Murder, She Wrote? In the Dana Donna episode, The Psychic, Don temporarily loses his sight and enlists the help of a psychic to solve a case. The psychic Madame Evangeline looks exactly like Jessica Fletcher, the star of Murder, She Wrote. Could this be the same character? Well, in the world of Dan, it's possible. According to Dan's internal monologue, he's already over 50 years old. Jessica Fletcher, on the other hand, is in her 60s at the start of Murder, She Wrote. So it does line up. Plus, Jessica started writing mystery novels after she retired from teaching. And we know that Dan was once a famous mystery novelist. So there's definitely some overlap there. What if this is a story of how Dan met KPop Demon Hunters? K-pop is the most popular genre of music in the world right now. But did you know that it's also the most dangerous? That's because every K-pop group is secretly a team of demon hunters. Each member has unique skills that allow them to battle demons and prevent them from causing chaos in the human world. For example, V from BTS has super strength and can break the necks of demons with ease. Meanwhile, Lisa from Blackpink is a master of disguise and can infiltrate the underworld undetected. When the members aren't busy fighting demons, they use their powers for good by making catchy music and winning awards. They've even used their platform to speak out against climate change and promote equality. The music videos are actually coded messages to warn the general public about the dangers of the occult, and the choreography is carefully designed to confuse and disorientate demons. Every K-pop music video is like a battle between good and evil. And the music video for Blood, Sweat, and Tears is especially intense. The boys are literally fighting against demonic versions of themselves. This music video is so scary that it was banned in some countries. The fact that K-pop idols are willing to risk it all for their art shows how powerful they really are. These artists are more than just singers and dancers. They're heroes. Bluey is a cute cartoon about a family of Australian shepherds. The show is wholesome and fun, but it's also strangely realistic. Some viewers have pointed out that the show seems to accurately depict the behavior of real dogs. For example, Bluey and Bingo's ears perk up when they hear a noise. Just like real dogs, they also show other dog-like characteristics, such as playfulness, curiosity, and a love of food. But there's something else going on here. Bluey and her family don't just act like dogs, they also talk like humans. This raises an interesting question. Are these characters actually dogs, or are they secret humans who have been turned into dogs by a witch? Let's call this the Bluey curse theory. The show starts with Bluey receiving a mysterious box in the mail. Inside the box is a blue healer puppy. This puppy is obviously Bluey, but what's the point of the box? Why didn't they just show her as a fully grown dog? The answer, of course, is that Bluey is cursed. The box represents her former life as a human, and the blue healer puppy is what she turns into whenever she comes into contact with other humans. The curse was placed on her by an evil witch, and the only way to break it is by finding the witch and making a deal with her. This would explain why the show is always sunny and why everyone is so happy. If these characters are cursed, then they're probably trying to enjoy their lives as much as possible, knowing that they may be turned into dogs forever. Thank you for watching. Which one of these theories do you think is true? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, have a good one.